Hey guys, I'm back for a second session on this Monday, March 6th. I did some trading while we were away. I just did a bunch of scalps here. I think we left off where I took this, unsure scalp and then it went my way and then, just ranged a little bit. And then took a couple uh, quick scalps on the long side, mostly on the 15-second chart, and then I'm back here. I've just entered in on the long. I really wouldn't have normally just because it's so high, but I just wanted to record why I would do such a thing based on what I have. Looking at the 5-minute chart here, I have the Kama cloud here. It's curling up, and to me that's usually a sign of bullish move. It'll continue for a little bit. So I'm going to add, as it pulls back, I'm going to add to it. I just wanted to get in it to have some skin in the game, I guess, is another way of saying it. I'll shoot for the 20s. It's not much, and I usually front run the 20s by 2 points or so. So I'm just going to pull that down, and I might hit it here, but we'll see. The 1 minute also was bullish with the shape of the Kama cloud. So again, I normally wouldn't enter up here. I'd enter in on a pullback, but I just wanted to go with the trend and see what happens and have a recording of it. And then on the 15-second, we also have the same shape as the 5-minute. So that trade took, between 8:15 my time to 8:17, so 2 minutes. We were able to get close to 10 points on that move by going with the trend and what the Kama was showing. The 1 minute still looks strong. It's not hugging the Bollinger Band as I would like, but this is a good slow grind kind of looking move. And if we look on the VIX on the right hand side, if you flip this chart around, the Kama is also showing a good downward slope. It's not curling up as much. It might go horizontal a little bit and then just does a little fakey to the right. And the slow moving average is pointing down. And my trend filter, this yellow line, is also pointing about 35-40 degrees down. So to me that means there's a good continuation, especially when I entered in at back here. So we see that there's another push of 6 or 7 points from where we had left off. And now we're hugging the Bollinger Band on the left-hand side, the upper Bollinger Band. So we've got a lot of leg left here, I think. You look at the momentum indicators, the 310. There's no divergence, so that's good. Price has made a new high, a relative high, and it's also made a new high on the 310. The stochastic RSI is also approaching the above 90 threshold, which to me is a good healthy sign of a push up. Now, I could have held on and got another 20 points easily. Yep, 20 points from where I left off. But it's hard to, trade, talk, and kind of record at the same time. But I just kind of want to again make record of seeing this move and having it being confirmed on a couple time frames. The shape of this Kama cloud. Again, this is the 5-minute. The cloud's green. It tested the lower band, but the cloud was still green with the squeeze cloud on, and the blue trend filter means it's up. 1 minute didn't have quite the same shape, but you see this, by the time I entered around here, the shape was looking pretty good to say. I normally don't like the trend filter, the long-term filter, to be inside the bands, but because the 5-minute was showing a good healthy move up, I went ahead and made that the overriding force. Now the 1 minute is pulling back a little bit. I'm sorry, the 15 seconds. But it still has a good shape to it. I think it might come down to, the 24s, even down to the 15s on the 15-second. But then the 5-minute will still look good. If we do a Fibonacci retracement on that, if it doesn't make a new high relative to where it's at, I'd look at maybe a 410 pullback to there, 407. 400. Those would be good entry points, even down to the 380s or the 390s. I still think if the shape and the colors of these indicators that I use are there, I would enter. Now the one possible concern is that the 1 minute VIX is starting to look like it'll pull back, which, you know, again goes in line with what we're talking about here. Strong push up, there's bound to be a pullback. Just take a little bit of breather before it continues up. And the VIX is showing similar things. Strong push down here. Momentum indicators point to more movement down. There's no real divergence at this point, at this low. You've got the stochastic on the VIX here, going where I think it should. Also the 310 also has made the lows on these troughs is indicative of the maybe another leg up, at least after a pullback. But we'll watch here. Let's see what the 1 minute's doing. Again, for me, this is still a good curve. I'm looking, it'll probably bounce off Gamma here at 420 and go back to the 430 and then come down to maybe the 410s to 400s and then continue up. That's what I'm hoping. Let's see, I'm trying to figure out how to do the drawing tool here. So we got to move down, saying right here, bounce, oops, to somewhere over there. And probably, you know, either there or there, and then continue up. Now it might range out here. You might do one of these bits and then decide to go up. That's just based on watching how strong of a momentum that I see here, and also on the 5 minute chart right here. This is the early stages, so you'll have some profit taking and whatnot. Alright, I don't see any trades setting up for myself. I mean, I could go in on the 15-second chart here, go off of the lower Bollinger Band and aim for the mid, but that's, you know, 6+ points. Obviously, you know, you've seen me take less today. That's not a problem. It's just start slowing down once you get to about an hour after the open, especially on a Monday. All right, so now we see this. You know, if I was to do anything, I know this is crazy, I would short this for a quick scalp down. And I would be wrong, I will admit that. And I would end up averaging in and fighting the trend for most of the next couple hours just to break even. You see this curvature here, or non-curvature, I guess, of the Gamma. That to me says I'm going to keep going up for a little bit. So I'm going to watch for another push, maybe to the 50s, and then I'll do a quick scalp short. Just to show to you that, hey, don't listen to me. Don't do what I do. Once it breaks this, I'd like to maybe on the 15-second push up a little bit higher than that. This is still like, you know, good, hey, we're moving up. We're just taking our time. We're going to take 2 steps forward, 3 steps forward, 1 step back maybe kind of thing versus a 10-step forward, 8-step back. And that's what I usually, you know, would prefer to, if I'm going to counter trend scalp. Would, like earlier, big burst up, short it, let it, you know, free fall down a little bit, take your profits, and then watch it run up again. In that case, it looks like we would have been okay, you know, gotten our 6, 7 points, 10 points if we were to short once it broke this previous high on the 15-second. Momentum indicators show a slight divergence, but not enough for me to say there's a divergence. Very slight. Yeah, it looks like this will it's playing out, I think. Gonna give it some time. Yeah, I just don't like, if I was to short on the lower time frames, how close the 5 minute is to the left hand side of the Bollinger Band. I'd like it to peel a little bit further away. 1 minute is in a position where I would short. And let's see, 33, 27. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and just short right there. I'm gonna aim for the top of the camera here. So about, it's only 6 points. I'm gonna aim for the bottom of that previous red bar. Just based on the fact that it's been some time on the 1 minute chart since it's ridden the Bollinger. And I may have to average in order to get out with any kind of profit or break even. Again, this is just for entertainment, just for education. I wouldn't normally do this. Like I said, I don't like to, I like the 5 minute to be where the 1 minute is. If I was to short this, I would like the 5 minute to be here, because then I have some more, knowing that the move has kind of petered out a little bit. But this might be not, won't be so bad, I don't think. I think I'll get to, 29.50 is not a good number for me. I'd rather go 30.50. Again, that would be 6 points, not much. I still think, it'll probably come down to the 20s or the 10s before it continues up. That's my guess. But in other cases, top of the camera here is also a good spot to take it, but I like to front run things. Let's look at the 5 minute. Not much of a pullback right now. It hasn't made a leg down yet. It's still on the leg up. If we're to, this dotted line here. So I may be in a world of hurt for some time. Just like that push up there. I'm going to add a second. And then I'm going to take this one where I went in first, and then move this one down a little bit. Just a little bit more risk, so I got to take a little bit more reward. The first one, just try to get out, just bring my average down. That would be a 10. If I would just do a LIFO kind of calculation, 40 down to 33, that's 7 points. Our first entry was at 36, so we made 2+ points on that first trade, if that's what we were to calculate off of. I will actually move this back to my original stop at 30 on this one. Just seeing how this curled down gave me a little bit more assurance that I'm good for now. I could, like I said, go down further. I don't have much time left in the recording before I have to head off for the day. Alright, it's kind of dancing here. What I'm actually going to do is pull it up on the 15 second, just where the Bollinger Band is at the very low. So we're looking at 31.25, maybe go up to 32.25. We'll do another ad here. I think this is a fake. There we go. And I'll just flatten out there. Okay, so that last ad, we got in at 39.50. We got out of both of our contracts at that point at 34, so 4.5 points, 9 total points. And the reason, again, I did this, I'm looking at my stochastic is pointing down, which means there's a divergence here between price and the stochastic RSI. I like this play a lot, where the price makes a new pivot high when this down leg starts because of this bar here, the red bar to the rightmost red bar. I know that I can now look for divergence plays because this new pivot has been made. And because it's off of the high, even though price is at the high, the relative high, the stochastic was in the 70s. And the 310 doesn't come into play as much when I look for divergence. In this case, I also took a quick scalp because of this shape of the camera. You could see now the price is trying to get back to its relative high again. I think it may push past, but I still think it's going to come down to the lower Bollinger Band area before it makes a continuation up. Looking at the VIX is curling. So there's a chance that it will be a big push down, this curl up here. It has a tendency to curl not all the way up and do a V bottom, but probably curl to this point here and then come back down. There'll be a divergence and then it'll push up like a W bottom. Okay, so good thing we flattened our position here on the 1 minute. There is a big push up. Gamma still looks strong, and that's why I told you the whole time when I went in short right here that it was actually right here, that was probably not a good idea. Only in the sense that I didn't have time. If I had time, I wouldn't mind shorting up here, because I still think, even though I don't trade without stops, knowing when to get in allows me to average down and be able to get out within a reasonable amount of time with at least break even. Now, there's other traders out there who are better at risk management, and they would take their stops along the way, and then they'll let their winners run, and they'll end up winning as a whole. I, on the other hand, come from a long line of scalpers who think they know better than the market, and we end up eventually losing our money and then some. But that's where my trading career is at right now. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and end this recording here. Thank you again for watching, and let's get a recap on where we're at. We started the beginning of the day at about 40, I think, 41, somewhere in there. And then at the end of the first recording, we were probably in the 60, give or take. I traded some off stream. I've been waiting to say that, trading off stream. But then, once we came back, we were able to make a few more dollars here. So we're up at 175 here with our one Apex account. I'll leave a link to my Apex affiliate down below, just like every other good streamer out there. If you are interested in Apex, I'd recommend them for their current deal right now, which is 80% off on a recurring basis. So not just one time, 80% off. And if you were able to do like their 25K or 50K accounts, that's $15 or $30 a month, which isn't horrible for a quote-unquote sim paper account. While you're learning to trade, it's better to do that versus trading live money or some other paper trading setup. Like here, Quant Tower has a sim trader, but it doesn't work the same because it doesn't have to go to the exchange and so forth. So there's some good experience in doing that. All right. You have a great day, and hopefully I'll see you tomorrow sometime. If not, probably Thursday for sure. Peace.